Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us at Streaming Media East 2019. I'm Eric Schumacher Rasmussen. I'm the editor and VP of Streaming Media and the conference chair for Streaming Media East and West and Streaming Forum in London as well. It's great to see so many of you here today and so many familiar faces and lots of new ones too. Before we jump into our great keynote this morning, I do want to thank some of our sponsors. Our platinum sponsors, MediaKind and Red Pro 5. Our gold sponsors, BitMovin, Intertrust, Lightcast, SeaChange, SimWave, Theo Technologies, and UI-Centric. And our executive sponsor, Google Cloud. And I'd like to thank the rest of our sponsors as well, too numerous to name here, but they're all in the program and on the exhibit floor, and without them, this event wouldn't be possible. Also want to thank our streaming partners, Mobion and IBM, who are webcasting everything from this room live and also capturing video, and all the videos from the event will be on the website on streamingmedia.com, hopefully by the end of the month. So look for those. Most of the presentations you'll be seeing will also be available for download once the event is over. If there's any presentation that's not available, you'll get an email letting you know when the presentations are up. If there's any presentation that's not available, feel free to email me, erics@streamingmedia.com. And I can hopefully get that presentation for you as long as the speaker is okay sharing it. All of the session rooms are noted in the program. We've got 5 different tracks going on, actually a total of 6 today going on. And the session rooms are either down this hall or down 2 halls over. To get to those, you need to walk through the exhibit hall behind us or go down to the end of this hall and walk around. Any questions about where things are, check the program. Look for me or someone else with a purple staff badge. Look for Jose Castillo with his fancy hat in the back. He's a man of many talents, one of which is geolocation. And he'll make sure you get to where you need to go. And if there's anyone you'd like to meet who you know is at the show but you haven't been able to find yet, Jose or I can help you connect with that person. In addition to the business and strategy track and the technical and how-to track, we've got 3 summits going on today. We've got the live streaming summit, which is programmed by Aubrey Russell and Corey Benke. I'd like to thank them. We've got the video engineering summit, programmed by Jan Ozer and Robert Reinhardt. And then we've got the OTT leadership summit as well. So lots to see, as well as the discovery track, which is going on and is full of great presentations. There have been some changes since the final program was printed. You'll find the most recent version of the program either on the website or in the Streaming Media East app. It's an app called Hello Crowd. Download the Hello Crowd app and then search for Streaming Media East. And I believe it's 19 app is the password to join the Streaming Media East program. Like I said, there have been a few changes, particularly in the 4 p.m. slot today and the 10:30 a.m. slot tomorrow. So again, look for those. The exhibit hall is open from 8 until 4 today. Hopefully you got a chance to get in there and get some breakfast and coffee and meet some of our exhibitors. It's open during all the coffee breaks. And then today from 5 to 6, there will be a happy hour in the exhibit hall sponsored by MediaKind and Red 5 Pro. The attendee Wi-Fi, look for the Hilton Meeting Room Wi-Fi network. The passcode is Google Cloud, and that's because it's sponsored by Google Cloud. We also have some networking meetups at the coffee breaks. Check your program for how those are going to be run. Over each coffee break, a different group of folks will be welcomed at the networking lounge at the back of the exhibit hall. With the housekeeping out of the way, I'd like to talk a little bit about our keynote this morning. This isn't the first time Hulu has keynoted a Streaming Media East event. I think the last one was 2 or 3 years ago. But I went back into our coverage on streamingmedia.com to look at the first time we ever wrote about Hulu. And I found a quote from one of our first stories on the company in April of 2010. And Troy Dreyer, the senior editor of streamingmedia.com, wrote this. He said, "Hulu will soon begin testing a subscription service in an effort to wring more revenue from its premium content. It's a bold move, but one the industry saw coming. Besides being a big step for Hulu, it's a crucial test for the growing online video industry. Can viewers be made to pay for content, or will they simply move to free content?" Well, it's 9 years later, and the answer to that question is yes. It's a little bit of everything, isn't it? The industry has embraced SVOD services as well as their AVOD counterparts, and more we're seeing hybrid monetization models that combine both advertising and subscription, and Hulu has worked in all of these and has seen tremendous growth. It's up to, I believe, 25 million subscribers at last count, Dan? 28 million subscribers Hulu has. And so we're going to hear about how Hulu got here and how it is building a platform for the future from the company's CTO. Please welcome Dan Phillips.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It is the morning. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you this morning, kicking off the Streaming Media East Conference. You know, this sure looks like it's going to be an exciting few days ahead of us here, and pretty action-packed. Wow, what an interesting space and market that we're all in. You know, you think about television, you know, it's been around quite a while, but even 20 years ago, it was not quite so dynamic as what we see today. Technology really didn't play the role that it does today. I remember a friend of mine, right around that time, reached out to me. He had this cool device, this new invention, new technology that he thought was pretty cool that would change the world, at least change the world of television. That you could fast forward or rewind live TV, that you could watch your shows, your programs when you wanted to watch it. You could even fast forward through those commercials. Well, of course, that was Jim Barton, and that was TiVo. You know, and the DVR really did have an impact on the living room and television. But you know, we're all part now of what's really that next revolution in television, and it's pretty exciting. My journey did start at TiVo, and that was my introduction into the TV technology world some years back. And it certainly prepared me for this Hulu adventure, where once again, we're revolutionizing television, part of that next generation into TV. But you know, I guess it was just about a year ago now, pretty close, that I joined TiVo, or excuse me, that I joined Hulu, and it's been quite an adventure. I was brought on to drive the product strategy and technology strategy for the company, and this last year has been quite an adventure for myself as well as for the company. Of course, Hulu is all about video, and of course, I've got to introduce Hulu to you with a video. So please watch.
This place rules.
Yes. Live from New York, it's
There's breaking news tonight.
Plus, new reports.
action.
Every chapter is this crazy, unexpected cliffhanger.
Hulu has live sports.
How cool is that? You gotta love the technology that we have. You know, I wonder if you're an infrastructure CTO, what do you do for your sizzle video? How do you make, you know, infrastructure or messaging system look sexy? Well, we've got cool technology that help us on that front. You know, in just the last year alone, our service, our teams, and our technology have evolved greatly. And we're well on our way to becoming the #1 choice for TV in and out of the home. In the year that I've been CTO, we've grown to, as you just heard, over 28 million subscribers that we announced last week. That's up from 20 million subscribers just a year ago. total hours watched have increased by 75% in 2018 alone. Average time spent per subscriber increased by more than 20% over the last year. And we also hit $1.5 billion in ad revenue in the last year. Hulu now is the fastest growing SVOD and live service in the US. And we're just getting started. And this growth is only going to continue. But before I dive into the future, let's take a look at some of the things that I've experienced when I first started here at Hulu. Sorry, I was supposed to do the build as we worked into to that piece. Three things really stood out for me when I first joined, and were even a bit of a surprise for me. Number one, the definition of TV has fundamentally changed, and the way that consumers are experiencing television has shifted. Our service is complex, with enormous choice that we deliver to the viewer, and much broader than I was even expecting when I came on board. And number three, as many of you in this room know well, it's complex to deliver live TV over the internet. This is not just a Hulu challenge, but this is a challenge for our industry from a broader perspective. Let's dig into these a little bit. The market is shifting right before our eyes. Cord cutting climbed to 33 million adults in 2018. That's up from just under 25 million the year before. And we know that number is only going to grow in 2019. We know that consumers want their entertainment on their terms, which is why 67% of households have at least one streaming service. For the first time, there are more streaming households than cable households. It's pretty incredible. Consumers want choice, and Hulu is all about choice. You can have Hulu with ads, you can have Hulu without ads. You can choose our VOD service, or you can have a full live streaming service with VOD. And of course, you can have the add-ons, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Stars. But you can also, later this year, we'll be able to add, of course, Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. Our viewers have the flexibility as well and control to add and drop these services. They can move seamlessly across these sets of services. You want to watch March Madness? You can just add our live service, and then once the tournament's over, go ahead and drop the service. You want to catch up on Game of Thrones? Add the HBO, binge that first 7 seasons, and then enjoy that 8th season. You're all ready to go for season 8. Of course, though, on the technology side, this poses significant complexity and challenges for us. But that's our commitment to the customers. That's who we are as a company. The third area that I'd like to talk about is the challenge in delivering live video over the internet. We're working with a nascent infrastructure that wasn't really built for delivering live TV over the internet, or at least with that in mind. Unlike the closed and fully controlled networks before us, we're riding on top of the open internet. With many players and technologies along in that path as well. Starting with the video source out, where we get access to signal, all the way through to that last mile. And this brings special challenges as well in delivering a reliable, high-quality video while still minimizing latency along the way. And of course, there's minimal standards and a lack of adoption with those standards as well. Things like SCUDdy markers that designate the start and the end of a program are not universally adopted, or metadata about the programs isn't always shared and isn't even always accurate. This and much more make TV over IP quite complex and quite a challenge. Along, though, with these surprises for me, in coming in, there were operational challenges that we looked at and dealt with as well. Let me go through a few of these and touch on them. There's about 5. We're not just a live or an on-demand service, as I just mentioned. Hulu offers both live and on-demand. And of course, we can do those add-ons that I talked about. But we also allow you to sign up in a number of ways, of course, directly with us. But you can also sign up through our device partners, like Roku or Amazon, as well as partners, our go-to-market or bundling partners with Sprint or Spotify. All of this, as you might guess, brings significant complexity to our tech stack and our operational side of the house as well. Number 2, we needed to improve our quality of service. Reliability is a must for TV, especially when our viewers depend on it for their sports, their big events, and news. This and much more really goes into the quality of service, like video quality, reliability, rebuffering, latency, just to name a few of those. And we really needed to improve on each of these fronts. And of course, our rapid growth added on top. We're the fastest growing live and on-demand service in the space. We needed to scale our systems for this massive growth, the 28 million that I just spoke about, but also looking forward. We're preparing ourselves to be at 40, 50, 60 million subscribers as we look forward. And of course, a high number of concurrent viewers for events like the Super Bowl or March Madness. And we're doing all of this while still maintaining and actually improving on our quality of service along the way. 3, legacy systems. A lot of you are probably familiar, and the associated tech debt that goes along with it. We were dealing with a nascent infrastructure for live TV, and we had to rapidly build out the systems to support that. But in doing so, we created some tech debt along the way. So we needed to address this, and we're looking to modernize our underlying technologies and modernize our platform. And finally, operational effectiveness. We were a small, more focused team a few years back, but we have grown immensely in terms of both our team and our broader product offering. And the structure and processes needed for a bigger team and a broader product offering are just, frankly, they're just different. So we needed to address our operational effectiveness. To keep pace, we needed to make sure that we're building out our teams, our organization, and our processes to support our rapid growth, and thinking ahead to where we would be not even just at the end of this year, but looking forward in the next few years. Bringing product, engineering, and operations all together under one umbrella was a big step forward for us, and to make sure that we're all rowing in the same direction, and that we have a cohesive organizational strategy to support that. I will say one thing that was extremely positive surprise for me coming in was the great talent that I found when joining the company. A dedicated, smart group of professionals that had delivered an impressive product in a very short time. And you can still feel, if you walk our halls today, that energy has progressed, and an incredible team that we've been able to pull together. Even with all of these challenges, though, we're working and building the best service for our customers, because we know ultimately TV over IP is the future. We can debate the timing of this, but it's inevitable, because it's where the customers are going. It's where the market is going. But before this tipping point really does happen, we need to evolve our technology to support delivering live over the internet and to meet those customer needs. While we've made a lot of progress along the way, there's still much work to do for us even as an industry, and to build out that infrastructure and to provide a high quality experience for our customers. At Hulu, we know that customers expect three things from their television. Number one, customers expect a reliable, stable, high-quality service. You've heard me talk about this already, and you'll hear me talk about it again, because this is the foundation of our relationship with the viewer, and it's where we build trust with our customers. Number two, consumers expect a standard quality experience across all the devices that they choose to use, and yet they also expect it to be personalized for them. And number three, consumers need a more integrated, non-intrusive ad experience. This is why I've tasked our team to focus in three key areas. The first of these is platform modernization, the foundation. Number two, our app experience. And number three, our advertising platform. Let's dive into each of these, discuss the progress that we've made, key learnings along the way, and where we really need to go next as we look forward and look into the future. Starting at that foundation, platform modernization. Again, stability and reliability are a must, especially when it comes to television. Customers expect our service to be as reliable as traditional TV, as the bar has been already set with the cable operators before us. This is certainly a challenge, as the cable and broadcast has had over 50 years to get this right. Well, services like Hulu have only been around over the last few years. We have a nascent infrastructure with our partners that deliver us the live streams, an array of technologies and vendors along in the process of delivering that television to our customers. Customers, of course, don't understand the reasons why reliability might be a challenge for us, and frankly, they don't care, nor should they. So for us, the first focus area is that platform, and here's what we're doing about it. Philosophically, we've adapted a modular approach to our platform, and it extends really to all parts of our technology and our technology stack. This provides us with tremendous capabilities, flexibility, and agility to meet the needs of our customers and to our broader business. Things like isolation of services will give us the ability to build with resiliency. Reliability is built in from the ground up. We design and build our systems for the worst case scenarios, not the best case scenarios. If something is affected, we have the agility to quickly roll back a change or to fail over to another instance at a component, at a module, or at a system level. For us to build with resiliency, we also need to accurately forecast what the number of viewers that we would expect for a given event. For projections during, an example of this, for projections during this year's football season, we were typically within 5% of the event. Also, standing up the live service in the cloud is part of this strategy, which gives us additional flexibility, scalability, and reliability that we needed to manage that shifting loads across our systems and shifting needs that our systems required. We're also adding and have the redundancy at every step along the process. For instance, redundant streams for our channels with the option to fail over to a national feed if a local feed fails. Also with multiple CDNs, with multiple paths to deliver to the viewer out there in that last mile. Number 2, reduce the blast radius. We're doing things architecturally so that we isolate our services, so that if an incident does occur or a defect finds its way into our product, that it's minimized and it's localized. This helps protect us from something you're probably familiar with, cascading failures that can occur out there in those monolithic systems. And the third is deliver features faster. Of course, in this dynamic market, so important. And this is all about agility. This gives us the ability to move at a different pace with the confidence that we're not risking our quality along the way, or that we're not going to break something. But in fact, we do assume that something will break, but our service will respond appropriately and handle it gracefully. And because we have clean APIs across our modules, they can also move independently and quickly without adversely affecting other parts of the system or other modules. This is what drives our philosophy, that everything has an API. This goes beyond our technology, but it's also how we think about our teams and how we think about our processes. It allows us to drive decision-making down into the organization, where ownership can occur at a component or even at a module level. So I would like to move on to the second big focus area, app experience. We look at our app experience in 2 ways: the app experience on the device and the overall experience for our consumer. The market has changed, and we needed to deliver a great experience to our viewers, regardless of where they are and regardless of what device they happen to be using. But this is not a simple task, as many of us know, as not all devices are really created equal. In the last 2 years, we've seen an explosion in the sale of streaming sticks, and more consumers are watching on low-powered televisions like smart TVs, connected TVs. So our philosophy is that we want to be on all the devices out there that matter. We're not limiting ourselves to streaming devices as the market moves and shifts before us, as we all know. And we want to skate to where the puck is going, not to where it's been. We need to anticipate those market shifts, knowing how quickly this market moves in front of us. Beyond thinking about our current streaming landscape, we're also looking at more capabilities like voice and connected homes and other technologies that come into play for that overall user experience. To do this, we're re-architecting our app platform to support a robust, broad set of devices. We wanted to ensure our engineers can move efficiently and be able to deploy new features and capabilities across many platforms. We also want to make sure to ensure that our customers on resource-constrained devices have the best possible experience. So we're iterating and re-architecting our CDP, which is our client device platform that we use across our living room devices. It's a layer that enables us to code once and to deploy many times, where we abstract the business logic from the local device that we're deploying on, so we can move more efficiently and more effectively. And we're not just working, of course, to improve our app experience on the back end. We're also focusing, of course, on the front end and our overall user experience. At the core of our experience, we have 6 key principles that are really our North Star when it comes to user design, as we focus first and foremost on the viewer and evolve our experience to meet their needs. The first of these is good design is efficient. TV at its core is a lean-back experience. We shouldn't have to work to get to our content. It shouldn't be that hard. A good UI is one that prioritizes ease of use as defined by clarity, simplicity, and fluidity. Menus, actions, collections are easy to understand. And what happens when you press the button is predictable. And our UI minimizes that cognitive load. You shouldn't have to think about it. Number 2, Hulu should feel deep. We aspire to become viewers' first and sole choice as a content provider. We have the richest catalog in the industry with over 85,000 titles. 85,000 titles. Our viewers should feel this richness, as our UI should optimize for surfacing the breadth and the depth of our catalogs. Number 3, enable viewers to choose versus trying to read minds. To drive viewing, we present users with a broad stroke quickly, and then empower them through collections that make sense, relevant metadata, and frictionless navigation for them to make the choice without being overwhelmed along the way. We strive to provide the best recommendations in the market, but we do not assume that we're always right along the way. Number 4, keep them watching. We seamlessly transition users from the end of a content or an ad back into content, whether that's the next episode in a series or other video that will extend their viewing session. If the viewers don't like what's on, they can easily pivot to something new. Number 5, be different with a purpose, not just to be different for different sake. Watching TV is an ingrained, decades-old behavior. Changing that behavior is hard. We build on existing customs when they fulfill our needs, but we're not afraid to be different when there's really a better way out there to do it. And finally, number 6, optimized and adaptable. This is so important in the dynamic market that we're all part of. Our UI is flexible and positioned to take ownership of the future of TV watching. We refine our experience for each platform and lean into device capabilities for the benefit of the viewer. We anticipate future needs, take cues from the industry, and look around corners to ensure that we can quickly jump on an industry defining opportunity or trend. These are our guiding principles that drive our decision-making throughout our organization as we evolve our application in pursuit of delivering the best experience possible for our viewers. We continuously iterate on the viewing experience based on research and viewer feedback. And we do this by listening to the viewer and also capturing their behavior along the way and in the process. We know it is important to immerse the viewer in their content, but equally important to showcase the depth of our catalog. This is critical since our research shows us that we have 30 to 60 seconds to get the users to the content that they care about. 30 to 60 seconds. So we're modifying our experience to do both. As a first step this summer, we're updating the Hulu collections to show more titles on screen, getting our viewers to their favorite shows faster. But we're not just innovating on our user experience, we're also innovating with our advertising as well. Which leads us to our advertising platform, of course, the third area of focus for our teams, where the viewer ad experience experience drives all that we do. We're focused on transforming TV advertising by putting the viewer first, by building an experience that is consistent, that is relevant, and that is integrated. Given the uniqueness of the Hulu platform as a streamer, we're able to innovate, in ways that traditional cable really cannot. Specifically for ad experience, we're focused on 4 key areas of innovation. The first of these is transactional. OTT is now a full funnel market opportunity. Our viewers should be able to interact with a brand, get coupons or offers, and shop via a second screen without having their content or their session or their viewing experience interrupted. Number 2, choice-based. A viewer ad experience should be flexible in nature. Viewers should be empowered with choice. And we lead the way in the industry with the first branded entertainment selector, where viewers are able to select the ad experience that they want. Pretty unique. And of course, integrated storytelling. Hulu is an environment built for storytelling. So brands should be able to tell their stories on Hulu as well, through native video and opportunities for content and ads to seamlessly merge and come together. Brands should be integrated into our experience in a non-intrusive way as well, through opportunities like product placement, dynamic, real-time creative. And the 4th area is situational. Hulu ad experience will consider a user's behavior and deliver an ad experience based on this behavior that they're more receptive to. Is the viewer binging or perhaps pausing their content? These behaviors create authentic opportunities to reach our viewers with an ad in a non-intrusive way. A great example of a situational ad unit is our pause, is with the pause, and our pause ad that we announced earlier this year. The pause ad is a non-intrusive, viewer-initiated ad that appears when the viewer hits pause. The pause is a unique opportunity at a moment to connect with the viewer and consider their behavior. They're pausing and potentially looking for at another screen or doing some other activity. This behavior also is unique to the streaming environment and to our world. Let's take a look at this. Now that they're navigating and come into our UI, looking for their content.
What are you doing?
Started watching.
I think your mom invented it.
And why are we doing it?
You haven't heard the news.
The user hits pause, gives us an opportunity to bring forward the pause ad. Once they come back and have ready to engage back in with and enjoy their content, they click, it fades away, and they're back enjoying their content.
They found her body. Destiny.
In fact, the majority of Hulu viewers, 2/3 of them, said that the ad felt that it was less interruptive or less intrusive. Pause gives us the ability to leverage a natural, viewer-initiated break for brands to tell their story. All of our experiences, even down to the revenue side of the equation, are viewer first. Everything starts with a viewer at Hulu. And we're continuing to innovate on the ad platform that will put the viewer first and at the center of everything that we do. So looking forward, what's next? This upcoming year is going to be even more exciting than the last one. At the end of the day, though, we're always focused first and foremost on the viewer. Our viewer is ultimately what comes first, and we're creating the best experience for them. We're unleashing the power of data. We've hired our first chief data officer this past year, and we're going to be even more data-driven than ever before as we move forward. We're expanding our work with AI and machine learning along the way to have a deeper, personalized experience for the viewer, as well as in many other areas of our product. But in doing this, we're also very conscious and considering customer data privacy along the way. We're going to build even more advertising experience tied to the consumer behavior and to their situations, and provide them choice and control as we move forward. Being viewer first is what our industry and our customers demand, and it's what will drive Hulu forward into the future. The future of television is here, and Hulu is really leading the way. So that's my presentation, and I think if we have any time for questions.
Unfortunately, we don't have any time for questions. That was great, Dan. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.